I'm supposed to stop now and ask you to ask questions because that was what I was told to do, and I'm a good person. Do you believe I'm a good person?
And speaking of impromptu, I forgot to tell you this morning. Traditionally, the way DRI does questions, you can see we have a nice gentleman over here holding up the sign for questions. You can write out a question, hand it to him, and he'll hand it to me, and then we'll ask it. However, the speakers, because we have a smaller group with the seminar, they said they would love to have you just stand up and ask a question live. So you can do it either way. If you're kind of shy and you want to write a question and send it in, you can do that. If you have a question, just raise your hand. We'll get up at the end of each session, ask if there are any questions, raise your hand. You might have to talk pretty loud because we don't have a microphone out there, but please feel free to ask questions.
I'll repeat your question anyway.
Yeah.
And I'm sure it's very valuable. So who's the first one?
Well, Sonya, I have 2 written questions. Let me start with those. And actually, I had 3, but you answered one of them, which is are women jurors harder on women lawyers? But I think you covered that.
Depends on the age group. It depends on the age group. Gen Xer women are very critical because they're also all out there working. Gen Ys really look at how you relate to them. Their attitude towards interviews is an interview is stupid because you come with letters of recommendation from people. How do you know that what that person thinks is a good piece of work is your idea? It should only happen as an experience, just the 2 of you, right now, so that they're very into the experience. Senior women will like you if you also add things like my grandmother always used to say. Or I don't know about you, but when my kids ask me X, Y, Z, those kinds of relating to the rest of your life is very valuable, very valuable. For men, I always tell them to quote the Bible.
My grandmother used to ask me, how do you feel multitasking has affected a juror's ability to absorb testimony?
Yeah, very tough. Oh yeah, good question, very tough. Multitasking has, I showed you television started doing that. A television news story was 1.5 minutes, and there are commercials. I was on television a long time. I know how fast the commercials were. Commercials now are 15 seconds long, and you'll still go and buy the thing and sing the song. Okay, so that we get 4 commercials in a minute. So what is your challenge? Expert witness testimony needs to really be so carefully choreographed. And you have to start out working with your expert witness who will be very competitive with you. Because the expert wants to say absolutely everything, so anybody who reads the transcript will know how smart he is. And that he didn't leave out X, Y, and Z, and some of his colleagues will say, yes, but the test in 1906. So that they want to stuff everything in. You need to explain where they fit in your case. You need to explain to them how they help you, and then you need to tell them about juries. You've just heard a lot about juries. Tell them. Tell them how juries listen, what they don't listen for, and most importantly, how does his testimony fit in the rest of the case? And then you teach him a motto, and the motto is, tell them what they need to know, not all you know. And it helps them self-edit, to continually pick out what the jury needs from this barrel of information, not to give them the barrel. And other things are, unless it is highly visual, it won't work. And also get them up to the screen, and you stand on one side and they on the other, and discuss it. The dialogue is much more interesting. Get them to write on a white chart. It's good, because it also shows I'm the guy who knows this. It just didn't come from, I reprinted it from something. But action, changes, and most of all, to help them focus on this jury desperately needs to understand they don't understand. Tell them to talk to a freshman orientation class and try to get them excited about his work, her work.
Okay, one more written question. How do jurors feel about objections or argument between lawyers during a trial?
Well, they hate it because they don't understand, but you know what else they think? Okay, let's see who wins. Oh yeah, this is going to be great. Okay, the judge said, overruled. Ooh, that's good for them. Too bad about you. And Your Honor, the frequent objections, that makes them think, don't say the next thing. Oh, the next thing, that's important, that's important. It may be nothing. It may have only to do with trial law, but that is, to them, it's going to be really big now, because he doesn't want him to say that, you see? So it's very important for you to, I would say, in your opening statement, and particularly since you're defense lawyers, to explain how this whole thing works. That after I make this opening statement, you're going to hear the whole plaintiff's case. You're not going to hear anything from me until the whole plaintiff's case is explained. And so it's really important for you to remember that there's another side coming. Okay, want me to show you my favorite? Stand up and open your argument as a defense? Not argument, but opening statement. What's this?
Hand.
No, it isn't. It's half a hand. Here's the other half. And now I'm going to tell you the other half of the case. Again, the idea of relating, surprising, and acting, active, responsive, you see? In that process, also tell them, you will see objections coming from both sides. It has to do with, it's like the rules of the game, like fouls and stuff like that. And the judge is the referee who says, yes, that's in the rules, no, it's out of the rules. So that they'll begin to understand what happens. And you also have to tell them about the bench conferences. They hate those. What are the secrets? I want to know. And so the more you help them understand, the more comfortable you get them in this difficult job they have, the more they'll love you.
Great. We're running out of time. I want to get
We
rolling.
have
to the
2.5
next
minutes. We
presentation.
need questions. Otherwise, my feelings are hurt.
Well,
There's one, a live one.
okay.
I represent an insurance company a lot in trial. How do you get a jury to care about a big company? How do you get a jury to say, screw what the truth is, they got enough money to just write the check for this?
She represents an insurance company. How do you get her jurors to care about an insurance company or believe that they have anything on their side excepting just write the big check and keep quiet? Insurance is tough because everybody's had experience with insurance companies in one way or another. I recommend the following. If insurance is your client, you should start out at the very beginning saying, I have a tough job, of course, explaining all of this to you, and you have a difficult job too. This is the jury I'm talking to. Everybody feels emotional about what happened, obviously, and so-and-so died or got hurt or got something or othered. And I feel bad about that. Nobody wants to see that happen. It's terrible. And the family is hurt and so forth. The hard part for you, though, is you have to set those emotions aside and listen to the case to hear both sides. And then decide up here, did anybody do anything wrong? How wrong was it? Should somebody be punished? Maybe nobody should be punished. So that at the very beginning you provoke them to climb above the usual prejudice. You don't say, I know you all hate insurance companies, but you talk about what the issue is and that people's sympathies go out, and so do yours, be human. And then move on to, but the challenge here is you've got to go past it. And you've got to go to a place where you listen carefully and then make a decision, an unemotional decision, factual. See? Does that help? Is there enough inside of your case? You do know there are cases that are unwinnable. You know that. There are cases going in that are bad cases. I mean, we all agree that that is true. But if there is enough on your side, you really have to look at your case from the point of view of what have you got that sails out so that I would then have to rethink that prejudice. You know? You know something, I love this, and I hope that you learned something from it, and I was very happy to come and talk to you.
And Sonya's going to be here, so
Yeah.
She's willing to talk to anybody and answer any more questions that you have, and we wanted to thank you so much, Sonya. It was great.